Today we're going to turn our frogs really into bookmarks by giving them a background. Now you know where the poison dart frog lives, and we need to make sure we put that same habitat, that same ecosystem into our frog's background. Right now, our frogs are just floating in Nowheresville, but we want them to look like they are in a jungle. So in this one, and we're all going to be doing the same kind of idea where you're going to be putting your frog on top of an object. It can be a leaf. If you want to try and do a flower, you could. It can be a rock. Usually the frogs hang out on leaves or rocks or maybe the side of a tree. And then, so the frog and its whatever it's standing on top of, leaf or rock or tree, is going to be your foreground. And then your background is going to be the other details. Now, as we learned from our last project, the background pieces are smaller and the foreground pieces are going to be really big. So your leaf, your rock, whatever the frog is on is going to take up most of your space. And your other elements are, these are some great options, some great ideas. These are some plants that you see in the jungle. I've also included a rock. Of course, not all rocks look like this one, but you can use your own creativity. I'll be drawing a rock today just to give you an idea of some other ways to draw rocks. We have here a variety of different types of leaves. If you're doing a leaf, you have a lot of free choice. I chose this simple form of leaf, and there's lots of fun jungle flowers that you can include. I'm going to show you some of those as well so that you can get some practice on those along with me. So, let's start with whatever object your frog is sitting on top of. You've got to start there. If you're going simple, like a leaf like I did, then all you really need to do is make big curving lines that go around either side of the frog. Notice how the leaf is cut off at the edges. We don't see the top and we don't see the bottom of the leaf. That's great. That shows us the size that this leaf really is. Now for this one, I'm going to put our frog on a rock so that you have another option, another idea of things you can put your frog on. For a rock, you would want to make sure that you have kind of curvy lines, some that go around the edge. They're never exactly straight, but they're also not soft and fluffy. Rocks are kind of a good in-between material. I'm going to go ahead and have my other end of the rock cut off. Let's do this. Okay, and now to make this is the top of my rock, the part where the frog's sitting on. And to make it look more 3D, we're going to add some sides. So I'm going to have an edge that comes down like this. Over here, I'm going to have an edge that goes off the side of the page. And now I'm going to put some details in the rock, some cracks, some shadows, small pieces, big pieces. This one's going to have an edge over here. This is looking cool. Maybe some more little pieces cut out of the rock. Okay, and I'm just going to put one more little detail right there. I think that looks great. Okay, so now my frog is on a rock, and now we're ready to put in our other details. Now remember, with our other details, I have here on the page behind me, this way, flowers, leaves, things like that as examples. I'm going to actually leave them visible as I draw so that you can see some of these ideas. So I want to, actually I've changed my mind, I want this to be bigger so you can see better. I'm going to draw for you some of the harder leaves so that you get an idea. I'm going to do this lily. That one's pretty tricky. Some of the other flowers are easier and you can use the same ideas. So let's put our lily over here. With a lily, the key is to make these big teardrop shapes. So I'm going to have, here's a big teardrop shape. And then we want a teardrop shape that has the edge of the teardrop in the same place and it cries the other direction. So here's another teardrop, and see, it's going behind the rock. It's overlapping, so we know the rock is in the front. Here's another teardrop. This one's going off the page. Here's another teardrop. And then one more teardrop. Okay, now for these teardrops on the top, we want them to fold over. For this tip, I want you to think back to when we did the Vincent van Gogh sunflowers and how we made the leaves that fold. This is another flower with folding leaves. So you're going to do the same idea. We're going to have an angle come this way. I want it to go behind the rock. So, and then another angle. Oh, that's looking pretty cool. And let's do one over there too. Now, in order to really make it a lily, we need to have some stamen. The stamen come out the middle, and they have little balls at the top, which I'm not going to color in, because that way I can color them in when I actually color. And let's give our lily a stem. The stem would be back behind the rock, and then it would come around. And let's give our lily also a leaf with a nice curve. And again, that's going off the page, and that's good. That's what we want. Now over on this end, I'm going to do a swirly. I'm going to show you which one I'm doing. I'm going to do the swirly that's right here next to my picture. I like that one a lot. So the swirly comes up and around, and then to make it look like a jungle plant, we're going to have little half-moon leaves that go up and around the spiral. Around, around, around. It's going all the way up. And remember, when you get to the top, cut it off. Use the paper to cut off your leaves. Same thing when you get to the rock. Use the rock to cut it off. That overlapping trick is really going to make your frog look like it's in a jungle. Okay. Oh, that looks cool. Now I'm just going to throw in some more leaves a couple of random places. Here's one. And I'm going to put one up here. Okay. And now I'm done. Now my frog looks very much like he's in the rainforest, and I'm ready to color. Now remember, you always want to draw very lightly so that you can erase and fix the lines that you need to fix. Don't be afraid to try other leaves, try other flowers, maybe on a separate sheet of paper before you draw it on your finished project. And then you're going to color. Now for coloring, you need to make sure that you fill in all the white space. This is a high quality project. It's a real bookmark. So in order to have a real bookmark that looks nice, you're going to need to color it very nicely. Fill in every white space so that the printed final copy looks professional. That's what we're going for, a professional, authentic project. That takes a lot of time. I'm telling you all this now because next week, all you're going to do is color. You're going to spend your whole time for art really putting in the work and making the color look really nice. So, you don't need me to stand there and tell you that. But make sure you take your time, do your best, and fill in every spot. Okay, I'm excited to see your frogs and your bookmarks. Have fun! And don't forget to use your references. I'll show them to you one more time. If you want, you can pause the video here so that you can really take a look at all of these pictures. Good luck.